Hey guys, it's me, Daniel, the pop culture dude. So, this is completely unexpected from your typical Sonic Movie 2 news video because for those of you who watched the last video, I suggested that I'm going to take a small break from it, not just because I don't want to, it's the fact that I feel like I just want to explore other things I want to do on the pop culture dude, just to open myself of what other things I like, but also be more open about myself. Like, for an instance, this is going to be a totally unscripted video, so I end up mumbling or stuttering or mix up my words. It's going to be a little bit blame on me, so no judgment on that. And the fact that this video is probably going to be the most serious, grounded, realistic video you'll ever probably might see on this channel. Like, not the typical, alrighty then my roll chumps, like, I'm toning that aside. And if you read the title and if you read the thumbnail, it's about me watching the Dear Evan Hansen movie trailer, and I'm about to talk about it. And for those of you who are probably thinking, what's Dear Evan Hansen? Why should I care about it? Why are you making a video about this, Daniel? Well, because one, it's a Broadway musical featuring a young teenager named Evan Hansen, like in the title, where he goes to high school who has a cast and eventually goes through social anxiety and doesn't know how to fit in school just because from how different he is and how much like he doesn't know that he could possibly be a part of this. And it really is a deep grounded story about, and yes, dare I say it, teen suicide, mental health, social anxiety, but also self-discovery about yourself. And I think the musical does an amazing job with that, and I'm happy that's getting a movie adaptation. And you're probably thinking, how does this have a personal connection with me? It does, because for those of you who don't know, or in this case that none even my friends don't know that much, I take some musical theater classes when I used to attend high school, where I'm 19 years old. I recently graduated like a year ago. I just joined just because it was my opportunity just to show my passion for acting and singing and just be a great entertainer on stage. And you can just watch this clip.
Rough are celebrated for their rough and cheese. The rough are famous for their wines. Hershey's and their chocolates and Lintons in their teas. But when it comes to making monsters, you can't beat the Frankenstein.
And the fact that I have performed on stage and the wedding singer where I play some of the ensemble characters. You can thank me later and put the link in the description. But once when I was in that class, that's when I first discovered Dear Evan Hansen. And once when I decided to discover more about the story and how other students were just singing along. And this musical actually got me my first and only girlfriend. And we split up, we break apart, and I'm not going to mention names or eventually make the story too grounded and too personal just because I'd rather keep all of it to myself. But when I first performed this song with my ex-girlfriend, and it's a song called Only Us, and once when I fall in love with her, but as well fall in love with the musical, that's how the musical made an impact in my life. And even after my breakups and through my mental breakdowns too, when I was experiencing school back in 11th grade, I eventually listened to the sad, depressing songs from Dear Evan Hansen, but it definitely shows me like a positive outlook on life, like someday that you're not going to be alone forever, you will be found. And for those of you who are fans, I'm glad that you're getting like some of the phrases that I'm quoting. But in a way, I'm just very happy that Universal Pictures are actually greenlighting this to a movie adaptation. And it's great that even the songwriters Pasek and Paul, who eventually did wrote the songs from the musical to the movie, and they're no strangers to Hollywood. They wrote La La Land, The Greatest Showman, and even wrote Speechless in the 2019 Aladdin remake. But I'm also like very interested from the filmmaker who's in charge of the movie, Stephen Chbosky, who eventually is responsible for movies like The Perks of Being a Wallflower and Wonder, another like good grounded school stories about outcasted outsiders who doesn't seem to like fit in and try to find their self-discovery, and in a way, how does social anxiety usually impacts their life. And I think he's the perfect director for this Dear Evan Hansen production. And in a way, we actually got Tony Award winner Ben Platt, who eventually plays the role in the Broadway musical, and he actually gets the chance to play him in the movie adaptation. Like, it'll be pretty surprising if he actually wins an award for this, but either way, I'm happy that it's rarely that we get Broadway stars to reprise their roles for movie adaptations for other musical movie adaptations I've seen. So even though he's 27 and sure he's playing a high school teenager, but it doesn't bother me. I've seen it before in other movies where he casts a young adult in a teenager role, kind of like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker in The Amazing Experiment, so it doesn't bother me. I'm definitely interested with the new cast, like Julianne Moore going to play Evan's mother, Amy Adams, who ironically is no stranger to singing thanks to Enchanted and the Muppets, as well as the newcomers like Kaitlyn Dever, who plays Zoe, and the fact that we got Nick Dodani, who's perfectly cast as Jared, aka Evan's friend. And then they're definitely going to explore one of Evan's new friends, Aliana, who's actually going to be written for her own personal song too. And since this story, it's a teen drama story based on a musical adapted to the film, and I just feel 100% happy that this actually does exist, and now I can just talk about my love and dedication for it from a fan's perspective. So if you're a fan of Dear Evan Hansen, let me know down in the comments. But if you guys don't know, I'm eventually just going to show you. If you don't know anything about the musical, that's fine, because this movie is officially being made, being produced by Ben's dad, Marc Platt. So yeah, father and son duo. But I'm glad that Universal's actually want to release this movie in theaters on September 24th. And I know Venom 2 comes out that day, but honestly, I'd rather rent a theater for myself and just watch Dear Evan Hansen over Venom 2, because as interesting that movie is, it's a movie that's not meant to be taken so seriously. But for Dear Evan Hansen, I do. And if you don't believe me, I'm just going to watch the trailer from my tablet, and there's going to be no earphones, so I'm just going to edit the screen here, and I got my tissue box ready for me to tear up, and I never cried that much on camera before, so this will be my first time. So let's go over this. Dear Evan Hansen official trailer by Universal. Let's go. Ben.
Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why.
I know that because that's from the musical.
Have you been doing those letters to yourself,
I get it.
Dr. Sherman?
You look so great with the
Have
hair.
you ever felt like nobody was there?
The song.
No, it's not your cast.
You will be found. Colton Ryan.
Now we can both pretend.
He actually gets to play Connor Murphy in this film.
Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? I wish
We've all been there.
Wish I was part of something. Wish that anything I said.
It's hard to fit in school like this.
Felt like you could disappear.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll just take it. Wait, I need that back. You could
Oh no.
And no one would hear. Connor took a letter from me, and it was an assignment from my therapist. Ew. Even when the dark comes crashing through.
Connor's mother and stepfather are here to see you.
When you need a friend,
Friend.
to carry you.
Connor wanted you to have
I'm
this.
just getting into the song, guys.
Dear Evan Hansen, he wrote it to you.
Amy Adams.
Words. Connor took his own life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Connor. Didn't
Suicide.
write this.
No, please. It's this.
You will be found.
We didn't think Connor
Ben still got it, man. He still has the heart and soul from what he did in the musical.
I mean, you really gonna tell these
Just already
people that
looking
the
forward
only
to
thing
this.
they have left
This
of their
movie
son
looks
is a letter that
beautifully
you wrote
well
to yourself?
shot.
So, you and Connor, tell us something, please.
Right. I started talking and just couldn't stop. They didn't want me to stop.
Still perfectly cast as Jared,
If
man.
you wanted to do something.
Aliana. This is where he sings the song that you've been hearing in the
That I
trailer.
wasn't alone. Nobody is. So let that lonely feeling
Washed away.
Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.
I didn't know that you were hurting.
This is beautiful. I'm about to tear up right now.
A lot of people feel like us.
You can reach out your hand.
I'm glad that this exists.
People started sharing it. It's everywhere.
And then becoming a social media star. All just because of his
You
message.
don't know how much you've given
Connor,
my family and me.
Oh man. In the dark. Rise again. Great movies. You will be
I
found.
never meant to make it such a mess. I was trying to help.
That line.
If you knew who I am,
You are not
just
alone.
how broken I am.
Gosh, man, he deserves an Oscar for this already.
And I love you.
Man, this is gonna be a tearjerker all over again.
I have to tell them.
You will be found. September 24th. Well, For those of you who don't understand, this truly means a lot. Hold on. It's really amazing that we can actually share a story about this, about Ben Platt looks so great as that insecure, sensitive boy who eventually just having problems to socialize but yet make friends, to another outsider who's like him but accept more in the negative perspective instead of just the anxious way, and decide to sign his cast. And don't get me wrong, Evan has a cast, and here's an interesting story. I broke my elbow right here. I mean, his cast is not like on here, but I understand what Evan's like. Just, it's hard to fit in with most of these other students that you just feel like that you could be a part of them. And I've been through that throughout my life, and it's the same thing for Evan too. And since the story really dives deep into the emotions of teen suicide preventions and the fact that he eventually has a close connection to Evan, to Zoe's parents, which definitely is the love interest that she's in from Kaitlyn Dever's character. And the fact that I'm so glad that this is like a story that should be presented for any of those who can relate to these issues, whether you're in middle school or high school. I definitely say I recommend to watch this movie whenever it arrives in theaters. Like, we live in a world full of commercialism where we just see the biggest blockbuster movies or mainstreams. But when it comes to musical adaptations, they just feel like they're either just hated or just sleep over. And I gotta say, from Ben Platt's performance, I was already feeling into the emotions. Like, he still has the voice of an angel. And the fact that, don't care about his age, I'm glad that he's reprising his role. And I definitely say that he deserves an Oscar nomination if this movie actually gets eligible for the Academy for Best Original Song or Best Leading Role in a Comedy or a Musical Picture. It's just that that's why this musical and this movie trail as a whole has got me looking forward to like what's next to come. And I'm definitely looking forward from everyone's musical numbers. And like we said, you can research the musical all you want. And either way, I can't wait for them to sing the greatest hits from Waving Through a Window, Only Us, Sincerely Me, Good For You, and the one that you heard from the trailer, You Will Be Found. And it's a good thing that I can finally share about this online just to show the humanity side of me, of how much I can share a connection to Dear Evan Hansen. After all of the drama that these characters have gone through, and the fact that they're definitely expanding more elements from the musical, like they're bringing supporting characters like Evan's friend Aliana, her own original song, but as well having a bigger role than she had in the musical. I think that's good for a film adaptation. And for me, I'm definitely going to bring this along with me because I'm so glad that this film is actually going to be presented. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me with this, but I'm so sorry. Excuse me. So, if you're interested to see Dear Evan Hansen in the comments, and I know most of you guys are just feeling bad that I'm just letting my emotions drown, and I'm just saying that this musical plays a big part of my life as a musical theater kid, but as well as connecting to Evan in his shoes and his relationship with his family, or even to his friends, or even his love interest. I feel like it's one of those movies that you can connect with this to, whether you have experience in musical theater or have experience of having social anxiety in school or like teen prevention. Like, it's really deep stuff for those of you who are eventually like done out of school. And I definitely say that this movie's just well deserved to be seen. But at the end of the day, hopefully you guys eventually give a chance just to check it out yourself. If not, that's fine. Then just stick for what you're used to the mainstream blockbuster commercialism side that we live in nowadays. I'm just being fully open about something that makes me feel passionate for, but at the exact same time, something that I just want to share and just leave it out to the public, just to prove that I'm not alone. Sincerely me. So anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Dear Evan Hansen movie that's eventually going to come out this September. And let me know your thoughts, whether you're new to it or not. I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. In case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye.